I am Javier Garcia Oliva. I'm a senior lecturer in law at the University of Manchester, and this is another video of our Balancing Beliefs project, which I am carrying out with my colleague Dr. Helen Holt at Nottingham Trent University. And I am in Nottingham today, and this is the statue of Robin Hood. And the theme of this video is obviously very much linked with the whole idea of Robin Hood challenging the corrupted leaders because he wanted to hold them into account. And that's absolutely vital for our democratic system. Then, completely linked with the whole idea of democracy, we have the whole concept of accountability. And I would like to refer to the three limbs of accountability which are crucial. First of all, political accountability. That basically means that the government is going to be held accountable by Parliament. And there are different mechanisms which are going to enable, obviously Parliament to keep an eye on the activities carried out by the government. And importantly, I think we need to accept that, or we need to highlight that there are different levels of political accountability. First of all, collective ministerial responsibility. All members of the government must hold a common front. All of them must owe solidarity and loyalty one to another. And if one of them feels that he can or she can no longer really stick with the directions of the government, he or she will be expected to resign. And that's extremely important. Collective ministerial responsibility, however, doesn't suffice, and there is also the whole idea of individual ministerial responsibility. And I would like to divide that individual ministerial responsibility into two different categories. Individual ministerial responsibility for personal conduct. The individual, the minister, must conduct his life according to proper standards, and then, much more importantly, individual ministerial responsibility for policy and administration. And at that point, I think it's absolutely essential to highlight that the whole idea of accountability has developed and is now differing to an extent from the idea of responsibility. Then accountability would basically mean that our ministers, the members of the government, must be held accountable. That means they must be answerable to questions raised by Parliament, select committees, and so on. But when we say responsibility, we are referring to a final situation in which the minister will have to take the blame for the actions carried out by himself, herself, or his or her department, and he will be bound, or she will be bound, to resign. Alongside the whole concept of political accountability, we also have the whole idea of legal accountability. And this is bringing together the government and the judiciary. Obviously, the actions of the government at times, or at all times, may be scrutinized by the judiciary, and is the whole concept of judicial review, which is the process according to which obviously the judiciary is going to keep an eye on the actions carried out by the government and is going to make sure mainly that the executive has acted in compliance with the wishes of Parliament. In other words, is upholding the whole concept of parliamentary supremacy. Then this is the second concept of accountability. And the third limb is the whole idea of administrative accountability. There are some independent agencies like the National Audit Office, which are going to be in charge of controlling the activities of the government, such as, for instance, obviously the expenditure, the annual budget, and the money which is spent on an annual basis by the executive. We need to make sure that the government is acting accordingly to the law, is upholding the will of Parliament, and is not breaching any rules. And in that sense, it is also very important that we have some independent agencies which are going to be keeping an eye on the actions of the executive. Therefore, to sum up, three types of accountability: political accountability, bringing together both Parliament and the government, Parliament keeping an eye on the actions of the government. Secondly, legal accountability, which is the activities carried out by the judiciary, obviously looking at the actions that have been performed by the government. And finally, administrative accountability, which is when obviously these independent agencies are controlling the activities of the British government.